You don't have a lead generation problem, you have a conversion problem. And booking more discovery calls to solve a conversion problem is like adding more water to a leaking bucket. The problem isn't the volume, it's the hole. And right now you have women getting on calls with you who are interested, warm, ready to hear your offer, and somewhere between the start of the call and the end of it, the sale disappears. More calls won't fix that. Closing the ones you're already on will. Hey there, welcome back. I'm Tiffany Fulcher, sales coach for women and founder of Convert Her. This is the place where women who are done with inconsistent income come to build a sales system that actually works. If that's you, subscribe and let's get into it. Here's the math most women are running when sales feel slow. If I book more calls, I'll close more sales. More volume equals more revenue. But here's what the math is hiding. If you're converting 1 out of every 5 discovery calls, booking 10 more calls doesn't give you a better business. It gives you 8 more losses instead of 4. Volume is not a strategy. Volume is actually a distraction that feels like action while the real problem gets unsolved. So think about it from this perspective. She got on a call with you, she showed up, she took her time out of her day because something you said made her think you might be the answer to a real problem she's been carrying, and she came ready to be convinced. And somewhere in that conversation, the energy shifted. She stopped leaning in and she started asking questions that were really objections in disguise. And by the time you said goodbye, the sale was already gone. That pattern lives inside 3 specific things happening or not happening in every discovery call you run. And fixing all 3 of those will do more for your income than any amount of new leads ever could. The first one happens before she ever gets on the call. And here's what most women completely skip and why it's costing them the sale before the conversation even starts. Most women treat discovery call prep as optional. They show up and they try to figure out who she is and what she needs in real time. That approach costs you the first 5 minutes of the call, because here's what preparation actually does. It lets you walk into the conversation already holding the framework of her situation. So instead of spending half the call gathering information, you spend the whole call going deeper. Depth is what builds the trust, and trust is what closes the sale. Here's your pre-call protocol, non-negotiable every single time. Step 1, review her intake form or application thoroughly. Not a skim, a real read. Highlight the specific language she used to describe her problem, because those are the exact words that you're going to be using in your conversation. When she hears her own language reflected back to her, she feels understood in a way that generic sales language never achieves. Step 2, research where she is publicly. Her website, her social media, her content. You're not being intrusive, you're being a professional who respects her time enough to show up prepared. Notice what she's selling, how she's positioning herself, and where the gaps are between where she is and where she wants to go. And step 3, write down the 3 most important questions you want answered. Not run through a script that you have in your mind, but know how the conversation will go so it's meaningful. The best discovery calls feel like a real conversation. They only feel that way when you know where you want to take them before you start. Step 4, review one client result directly relevant to her situation. Before you pick up the phone, read or watch or listen to one testimonial from a woman who was in her exact situation and got the results she's been looking for. That story will live in the back of your mind during the entire conversation, and when the moment is right, you can share it naturally, specifically, but most importantly, powerfully. Preparation is not just about knowing her better, it's about showing up with the confidence of someone who already knows she can help. And that confidence comes through before you say a single word. So you've done the prep, you're on the call, the conversation is going well, and then comes the moment that separates the women who close from the women who don't. There is a specific moment in almost every discovery call where the sale is won or lost. It's not the moment you make the offer, it's the moment right before it. You know her problem, you know your offer is right for her, and now it's time to transition from conversation to offer. And this is where most women freeze. They immediately begin to undermine themselves. Here's what it sounds like. So I think Convert Her would be a really great fit for you. It's $97 a month, and I know that might be a stretch, but we do have and she didn't say it was a stretch, you said it. So before she had the chance to respond, before she had a moment to sit with the offer and make her own assessment, you decided it wasn't right for her. And that's not a pricing problem, that's a caving problem. And it happens in the half second between making the offer and waiting for the response. Here's what to do instead. Make the offer, state the investment, and stop talking. Not because silence is a technique, but because she deserves the space to respond without you feeling it with your own fear. And here's what I need you to understand about that moment. If you don't believe in it enough where you have to ask for it clearly, why should she believe enough to pay for it? Your conviction in the moment of the offer is the last thing she sees before she decides, so you need to make it count. So you've made the offer and held the space. Now here's what to do with whatever she says next, because the next 60 seconds determines whether this call closes or disappears. The best closes don't feel like closes. They feel like a natural continuation of the conversation you were already having. So here's the framework. Step 1, diagnose before you respond. Whatever she says after your offer, hesitation, question, concern, your first move is to always understand it more deeply before you address it. Can I ask what's coming up for you right now? That question slows the moment down so neither of you feels rushed, and it surfaces the real objection, which is almost never what she said first. Step 2, reflect on what you heard before you respond. Reflect it back. So what I'm hearing is that you're not sure whether this is the right timing, given what you've already gotten on your plate. Is that right? She feels heard and her resistance drops. And the woman with low resistance is a woman who can make a clear decision. Step 3, connect her specific situation to a specific result. Not a general one, a specific result. Say something like, I worked with a woman last quarter who was in almost exactly the same place, juggling multiple offers, no consistent sales rhythm, genuinely not sure if adding something else made sense. 3 months in, she had her first 10K month. What she told me was that system gave her clarity she didn't know she was missing. That story closes more sales than any technique you can memorize because it makes the result real and achievable for someone who looks like her. Step number 4 is give her a clear next step. Never end a discovery call without a defined next action. Not think it over and let me know, a specific step with a specific timeline. What I'd suggest is sleep on it tonight and I'll follow up with you tomorrow with everything we covered in writing so you have it in front of you. And if it feels right, we can get this started next week. That step removes ambiguity and it tells her exactly what's coming and exactly what decision she needs to make next. And it gives you the natural reason to follow up without feeling like you're chasing. Now, here's the reframe that ties all of this together. Because once you see what a discovery call is actually for, the whole conversation changes. Now, she didn't get on that call to learn about your offer. She got on the call to make a decision about her future. The offer, that's just the vehicle. What she's really deciding is whether she's the kind of woman who invests in solving the problem right now, or whether she's the kind of woman who keeps carrying it. And that's a much bigger decision than whether your program is good or not. And the way you show up in that call either helps her make it or leaves her stuck. So when you show up prepared, when you reflect her situation back to her so she accurately feels completely seen, when you make the offer with calm conviction, and when you close with a clear and gracious next step, she doesn't feel sold to, she feels led. And being led to a decision she's been avoiding is one of the most valuable things one woman can do for another. That is what's great about discovery calls, actually. Not a pitch, not a performance, a moment of genuine service that ends with a clear invitation on how to move forward. And the woman who runs calls this way didn't just learn a structure. She made a decision about who she shows up as every single time a woman gets on a call with her. The woman who closes consistently is not more talented than you. She's more prepared than you. She's more decisive than you. And she's more committed to giving every woman who gets on a call with her a complete experience, including the ask. So when her close rate is low, she doesn't go looking for more leads. She goes back to the call she's already running and asks, where did I leave sales on the table? Where did I cave? Where did I end without a next step? And then she fixes those things. And then she fixes those things before she books another call. Because here's what she knows. Every discovery call is a woman who already said a small yes. She scheduled, she showed up, she gave you her time, and that is the hardest yes you will ever get from her. And you already have it. So your only job from that point forward is to honor that yes. Show up prepared, make the offer clearly, give her a next step so she can act on it. She got on the call because she was looking for something. Make sure that she leaves knowing whether you have it or not. If this landed for you and you felt something shift while you were watching, I made something for you. It's called Objection Proof. It's 12 word-for-word scripts for the sales objections you're hearing the most. Let me think about it. It's not the right time. Can you send me more info? These are the exact responses I use with my private clients. It's free and the link is in the description. You can download it now and use it in your next sales conversation. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.